All right, here at the EV Charging Summit, and I'm at the Switch booth with the CEO, Carter Lee. Carter, tell me a little bit about your products here. I'm really not familiar with Switch. I've seen the name out there, but I admittedly haven't really took a dive into your products, and I think that's a little overdue. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the company and what you have here at Charging Summit?
Sure. So we started this company in 2016. At the time, the genesis was really trying to solve my own personal challenge of owning an electric vehicle while living in a downtown apartment. This journey that we've been on for the last 10 years, we've learned a lot around, dealing with property management companies, real estate developers. But really, when we started off, we were like, how do we make it easier for people who don't live in a single family home with a driveway or a garage to own an electric vehicle? So our business model, our technology has really been geared around how do we make it more attractive and easy for people living in apartments to get an EV.
Absolutely. So I assume you have, and honestly, we haven't talked about the products at all, so I'm familiar with it.
Sure.
Since you're talking about multifamilies, you must do load management, intelligent load management.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about a typical system.
Sure.
Like if I've got an apartment building and there's, 100 units, but 5 of my residents now have electric vehicle chargers.
Yeah.
The property owner calls you and says, look, we're interested in putting in charging.
Yeah.
What do you recommend and how does it work?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's like, obviously for me, a very complicated issue, but really we start off with is like, how much can it possibly provide? Because most buildings are over 40 years old, and they were never designed for that infrastructure. So the first thing we want to do is we want to maximize the existing electrical infrastructure without any panel upgrades or anything like that. So a big focus for us is this platform called Switch Control, where we're able to use CT sensors and tap into existing subpanels. So a lot of the times these subpanels are really, really old and they have a whole bunch of different loads on there. If you just look at the bullet board itself, we could only put in 2 or 3 chargers. But when you can actually measure the loads of other things with CT sensors, you could put in 5, 10, 15 chargers at a time.
Because you find out that while the panel is full, it's a 400 amp panel and it's full.
Yeah.
You test it and it's currently drawing 50 amps.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
You've got a lot of extra capacity, particularly at night when electric vehicles charge. So now that you decide you want to put in 10 chargers, does your unit dynamically split the available power evenly between chargers, between all of them? Are they set up in groups? How does that work?
All of the above. I mean, in different combinations as well, because there's a certain limit to how many circuits you can share.
Yeah.
So like for example, a 32 amp charger, you can load manage it usually down to 8 amps.
Yeah.
But when you get lower than 8 amps, it starts acting really wonky, especially with different vehicles.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of places where we're seeing that have really strict, or really progressive building code requirements, where they're putting in 100, 150 level 2 chargers in one building, you need more than a 4-to-1 circuit share. Yeah. So we do a lot of what we call round robin, basically, where you actually jump 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and you can circuit share up to 10 chargers at a time.
Now, how about billing? Who handles the billing? Is it the property manager? Is it Switch on your end? I live in the apartment. How do I pay for my energy use, but not for the guy next to me?
Yeah, because, sub-metering could get expensive. It could get really complicated. Sure. A lot of these buildings only have 1 meter in the entire garage. So what we do is we aggregate and we collect individual transactional information and payments from the drivers, and we remit that back to the property management company.
So they're the middlemen.
Exactly.
And they can take a cut if they want to?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, how do you activate a charge? I live in the apartment and I'm on the Switch. I've signed up for this.
Sure.
How do I activate a charge so it's billed to me?
So this is one of the few things that I'm really excited about. There's obviously some standard things that we do. We use a mobile app to activate a charge, and there's also an RFID card. But a lot of the times, there's no cell signal in the basement garages. Even if you have the mobile app, you open it and there's no cell signal. So now we have this technology for tap to charge, where you can actually activate it by just like tapping the charger itself, and it will be able to activate charging without any cellular signal.
With your phone, you don't need an RFID card.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So those are kind of things that we try to make it easier for people who are trying to charge in these locations.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about your family of products.
Sure.
What's this unit here? There's a smaller unit next to it.
Yeah.
Tell us about what are the options people have.
So there's a lot of different opinions of like what's the right charging, what's the right speed. Everybody.
And I have very strong opinions on that.
Some folks are like, no, level 1 charging is all you need. You know, I only drive 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
All that, which
and
is
for
great.
some people it is.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So this is why we have a flex charger. It does both level 1 and level 2 charging for these scenarios. So like if you just don't have the infrastructure whatsoever to do a level 2 charge, you can do a level 1. And it's also managed. So the property managers, the HOAs, all the electrons that are flowing, all the kilowatts that are flowing, all the payment is still being collected.
Yeah.
So like a lot of folks, I think when they think level 1, they just think it's a dumb charger.
Yeah.
But you can have a smart level 1 charger, remit all the payments at the same way you do a level 2 charger.
Yeah.
So this is what we call the flex charger.
And this is what's the maximum current on this?
So for this goes as low as like a regular level 1, which is 16 volts, 120, and it goes up to 48 amps level 2.
48, okay.
Yeah,
So
like
11 kilowatts.
Yeah, 11 kilowatts, exactly.
Right.
So flex is really in the name. So this one we're also really excited about. It's what we call the smart outlet. And you know, we've seen a lot of like news recently about cable cutting and a lot of these other things. So this helps us like address that issue by being able to use a NEMA plug charger to be plugged in, and you can lock it and secure it, and it's waterproof, so you can put it in the interior and exterior, and it functions the same way as this one, where it's managed. It works within our suite of tools for load management.
Yeah, it's lower cost for the property owners. You can put a ton of those in. It's basically just a smart NEMA 1450 outlet.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can put a ton of them in parking garages. Customer brings their own portable EVSE. You know, and I see there's like a lock on that.
You can secure.
Yeah, because you got to worry about people stealing it.
Yeah. So I think, you know, there's a lot of great folks that have done this in the past, and this in itself is not super unique. But what makes it interesting is that all the load management technologies we built around, round robin, about you with the CT clamp sensors, those things all tie in with our broader ecosystem. So it's not just a smart plug, which it is, but it also, you don't have to upgrade your sub panels with this because it all talks together in one place.
In this way. Yeah. Okay, and then I see there's another charger behind me. Which unit is that?
So that one is the dual unit. It also allows people who don't want to download an app, just want to pay with their credit card. Beforehand, you used to have to get a kiosk, and sometimes it's really expensive to be able to pay through a credit card. But now these credit card payments are integrated within the chargers themselves, and you can tap to pay with your Apple Pay or Google Pay directly without downloading an app whatsoever.
Okay, final question. I see, well, not final question, almost. I see these are all J1772 here. Do you have NACS options?
Yeah, so all these flex chargers come with NACS as well as an option.
Okay, and cable management. Is there any cable management other than wrapping it around the unit? Because I noticed, I recently did a video on one of your competitors, Pando Electric, and went to a garage in New York where they had the smart plugs plugged in, a whole bunch of them. Almost every charger had the cables just laying all over the ground in the garage. And I was just wondering if there's a better way of dealing with that, so that some type of retractor system, so that we're, you know, because people are lazy. Let's face it. And they just left the cables all over the ground. Have you thought about any type of like retractable cable system so that you don't get that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, if you could see like just on that side, like cable retractions, we've been doing it since day one. That's definitely, we understand that's what damages chargers the most. Someone leaves it on the ground, gets run over, and then you get a cable replacement. So for us to be able to look at it and try to integrate it with a portable charger, it needs to be something that is like a temporary class, basically. And we're working on it in the lab right now. That, like, because the thing is, if it's permanent, then you can't get rid of it. So like to be able to latch in and out, basically.
Understood. That's why I know it's a challenge, but it's a problem, so it needs to be addressed.
Absolutely.
All right, well, listen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom,
for your time. Good luck with Switch, and hopefully we'll do some future collaborations.
Appreciate it.